Welcome! Time to put the finishing touches on your business report, and to do that, we're going to need talking headers and transmittal memos, both of which require your direct format. So all the work you've been doing on those memos are going to lead right into these last two components of your business report. So you will find examples in your book on talking headers. And the first thing I want to warn you about is you want to leave your major sections just the way they are. So introduction, findings, and conclusions stay just like that. That's standard. The subheadings, however, will change, and they'll become more like the subheadings you see in a magazine article. You know they're bold, and they're upper and lowercase, and they're flush left, but they're also going to bring out the main point of that section, and that's our goal. So this is how we're going to do it. For instance, let's say you did research and found out that your offices for this company were in these 4 states. Now you have to think about that data and try to sum it up and say the main point. So instead of just saying locations, which is generic, you want to say where they are located. That's what'll make it talk. And in this case, I decided throughout the Midwest would be an appropriate way, so I'm not listing them all there in my subheading. But just saying locations doesn't actually tell anybody anything. So think of this. Busy people do not have time necessarily to read your whole report. And the higher up the chain you go, the busier they are. So what you want, your goal, is to make the subheadings pull out the main point of everything in your report so that somebody could literally just read the subheadings and get the gist of what you found. Then, if they have time, they could read the backfill, which is the paragraph that you wrote. So if I wanted to know, what do you mean by Midwest? Then I could read and find out these 4 states. Similarly, if we take the example that I had about Google and the chart, when I introduce my charts, I want to be careful not to just say, as you here are the sales, right? Which makes your reader have to do the work of analyzing it and figure out, well, what's important about it. Well, to me, what was important about it was they continued to grow. So a generic header would be sales. A talking header would be that the point, which is there was a steady increase in profits. Good. So now you're ready to evaluate. And to do this, we're going to look at a sample. So here, you're evaluating in a way when you actually read your own paragraph and decide what key point to pull out here. So countries of operation is a lot like location. We still don't know where Disney, in this case, is located. But reading through, I see, of course, it's in the US, it's in Europe, it's in Asia, it's in South America. So basically on every continent except Africa and Australia. So you could have a talking header that said everywhere except Africa and Australia, or you could say across the northern hemisphere and South America. Something like that to indicate where we might find these Walt Disney places. So the other thing you want to do is evaluate this in terms of my main question to you. So just as I went back and told you the title has to indicate that it's not really about the company, but it's about your career and your future with the company, so too does the evaluation have to be about. So we're not evaluating the company being global. We're evaluating the fact that it's a global company and your career goals. So if you've been dying for a chance to go work in some of these countries, then this is definitely a pro for you. And you would say, yes, I'm excited by the opportunity to work in other countries. If, however, you're more interested in staying local, this might be a con for you. So you might say, this doesn't really appeal to me. I'm hoping if I do work here, they'll let me stay in the United States or in my state.
Or maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe you're willing to go if they want you to go, or stay if you want to stay. So it's critical to say what if this is a deciding factor and what you like or don't like about each point that you make in your paper. So every paragraph you're going to have an evaluation at the end, saying whether you think this is good or bad for you personally. And that's going to tie into your conclusion. You'll recap the key factors for you and why you think it is a good match or isn't a good match. And it'll tie into your cover memo, because that's where you're going to pull out the key factors that helped you make your decision. Good.
Once you've completed your report, you're ready to construct the transmittal memo, and you see a sample in your book. And what this is in the old days, we used to fax things. And when we faxed them, that would have a fax cover sheet that indicated what was included in the fax and how many pages. Nowadays, you're more likely to send this via email, in which case you would do an email. And what the purpose of it is to go direct and answer the main question and bring out the highlights. So that's why you didn't have to do an executive summary, because the transmittal memo is going to pull out the highlights. You're going to use your direct format because I have asked for it. There's no resistance, so you want to just answer my main question, basically. So as you will see in your sample, you usually start with attached as the report you asked for. However, I'm going to ask you to go a little further than that and indicate not just attached as the business report, but attached as the report you requested on XYZ company, which is or is not a good match for my career goals. So to be truly direct in this memo, you're going to have to answer my main question and signify the company name. The same goes for your subject line. Then the explanation paragraph is going to be the key factor, why it's a good match or why it isn't a good match, and hopefully you will list other key factors in a bulleted form. Once you have finished that, you will want to build your team and offer your contact information. And yes, you can create an end date. You can say when we meet on Friday. You can make something up. So how do you build your team? Well, something like, thank you for this opportunity to explore. It's been very useful. Something like that would work. Next, we can sum all this up by making it easy for your reader. So you have to imagine that they're really busy and you want everything that's important to stand out. Hence, your talking headers will tell the main point of the section you just presented, and your cover memo will pull out the key factors for them. So, don't forget to review your checklist and rubric to excel on this, and I look forward to reading them.